Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to another ramble. Tonight I am going to touch on um I don't know how to say it, but basically, have you guys ever wondered why prayer and gratitude is so life altering? I know like a lot of people usually when they encounter life circumstances that seem out of their control and they're seeking some kind of relief. A lot of people say to pray, but what does that even mean? And also, like a lot of people who I want to say lead a more successful life often preach about being grateful, like practicing gratitude. But what does that really mean? And I think for like the typical person, it's really hard for them to even enter that kind of ritualistic state of mind, especially when they feel burdened by so many different pressures and by, like, I want to say, the weight of the world. You're getting kind of like bombarded by all these different elements of life, and it's just really hard for most people to maintain equilibrium. You know what I mean? Because they are caught up in the chaos. So let's explore this. I know I have made videos in the past regarding words or spells, and I know I have made videos in the past to kind of like shed light on how important it is to be aware of your inner dialogue. And I think I've also shed light on why it's so important to, I want to say, censor the type of information you consume or expose yourself to. The reasoning behind this is because literally thoughts create your world, and what are thoughts? Thoughts are, like, I want to say, comprised of language. And what is language comprised of? Words, So it's like when you think upon things and you do it, I want to say, persistently and consistently, that literally creates your reality, you know? And that's why I'm like, pay attention, you know? Like, for me, it's like if you are the most important investment, you should absolutely be treating yourself like you would your own best friend, because you literally live with yourself. You literally live within yourself. You know what I mean? And you're going to spend, I want to say, the bulk of your time with yourself, because when you're born and when you die, it will be you, you know? I know that sounds kind of morose, but, let's be realistic about such things. So, like, for me, like, I don't know, like when I was younger, I feel like I was my own worst enemy and my own worst critic. And I certainly would have negative dialogue like consistently running and looping in my head, in my inner dialogue. Like things like, just as an example, like say I didn't do something up to par, it didn't align with my expectations. I would put myself down. I would be like, oh my God, you're so stupid, you're so dumb. But if you think about it, if you consistently feed yourself those like mental constructs in the form of words and thoughts, you will create that reality. And that's, I guess, how I'm going to move forward into like why prayer and gratitude is so important when on the path and when trying to elevate and ascend and become more self aware. So prayer, if you think about prayer, like I said, it's like words, that you're constantly re- re- ugh, ritualistically repeating, and that's why people do mantras. Um, yeah, so if it's kind of like working a muscle, it's like if you go to the gym and you consistently work out a muscle, eventually it'll get stronger, right? Until it becomes normalized and it becomes almost like second nature. Same with your thoughts. And that's why, like, for me, it's like I understand, like, why people subscribe to particular things in life that may not serve their highest good or may not be like in their best interests and may not support their well-being. I get it because you're still growing into knowing, but for me personally, I am very particular about what I watch, um, what I listen to, what I give my attention to in the form of music, in the form of movies, in the form of like any type of media. In fact, I have like I haven't watched television in years. I don't pay attention to the news because if you think about it, all that stuff is just really negatively charged. And if I were to consistently give that stuff my attention, then I will probably like I want to say create more negative experiences for myself. And so like if you think about prayer, you're always like, kind of like surrendering or like, you know, being thankful or asking for forgiveness or like, asking for courage and strength. And, you know, you see how like those things are very empowering and uplifting, So if you were to like consistently have that in your dialogue on a daily basis, that eventually will create and permeate in your energetic field, into reality, into the external world, you know? And even gratitude is, I want to say, almost similar to prayer. It's like when you're focusing on what you're thankful for versus what you're um, not thankful for. A lot of people focus on like problems, and they constantly think about the problems or they constantly think about things that they feel averse to, and they get more of that. But if you constantly keep your thoughts high and your inner dialogue high, then you will, attract such things into your experience. And I guess that's like the breakdown, you know? Like for me, I don't know, like I feel like you can relate to this, but it's like I did not let my inner child die. And even though I can be stoic as fuck, I also am very playful and very cheerful, and I kind of approach life with a child's mind, like very curious, very inquisitive. Little things make me excited, little things make me happy, like I still am very like I want to say excited when I see a rainbow or when I see a butterfly or if I see like shapes in the clouds. And that's predominantly like my focal point, I suppose. I could like I don't know, like just stare at flowers or greenery and that makes my soul happy. I don't necessarily spend too much time thinking about things that have gone awry, and I think I spend most of my time trying to understand things, because I feel like once you understand something, like you kind of accept it the way it is because you understand the mechanism behind it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, like I know when I was younger, I was way more critical, way more judgmental, but then I also had way more expectations, and I also um, had an inclination to not accept things as they were in the moment, and I for sure wasn't nearly as present, and now I just spend a lot of time being very present, and I'm very accepting, and I seek to understand versus like judging something prematurely. You know what I mean? And yeah, I look for the silver lining in things. I try to like look for life's miracles, and I literally like see a lot of miraculous things everywhere. And yeah, I know that problems exist and problems arise, but it's like, how long do I want to focus on the problem? I probably won't. I'll probably focus more on a resolution, you know? Like instead of how like people like, I don't know, they encounter problems or issues in life and then they just kind of get stuck and fixated on the problem or the issue. Like for me, I'm just like, okay, there's a problem. What can we do to resolve it? You know what I mean? Like I immediately go into problem solving mode so that we can move it along so we don't get stuck. And then, yeah, a lot of prayer, a lot of gratitude for everything and everyone, you know? Um, yeah, if you learned something from this video, cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you are having a beautiful day or night. Blessings to one and all. Amen.